All right, so I wish I had one of those spinning wheels, like the Wheel of Fortune wheels on an easel, where you can be like, "What's racist now?" Goddamn those white devils, and what are they doing now to oppress people? Well, today, it's healthy food. Yes, that's right. White people food, according to the Huffington Post, is creating an unattainable picture of health. It's completely unattainable. That's fucking. Oh, we're winning the fight now, boy. We're making kale and carrot sticks unattainable to everybody else but us. All right. So, all right. I love this little sub head title here. Right here. There's a perception in the black community that eating healthy means eating like white people, but it doesn't have to be that way. Well, what does eating like white people mean? Like, are we talking shepherd's pie, bangers and mash, or are we talking some kielbasa or some borscht from Russia? I'm confused here. Yeah. I mean, we all know what they mean. They're talking about the health nuts eating their kale salad and quinoa, right? Having their pumpkin spice lattes. The other funny thing I find funny about this article, this is by, I should mention, Kristen Aiken of the Huffington Post. The headline, white people food. It automatically implies there's other food that you wouldn't classify as white people food, but just not black people food, right? Like, let's flip this around. If you said food not for black people, yeah. It's racist, and it's one of those times where the left is racist, and they just don't seem to get it. It's like that video where, there's a video I saw where they're talking about like voter ID laws or whatever, or not voter ID, registration or something like that, and people are like, oh, it's so racist because black people don't have the internet or access to the internet, et cetera, et cetera. This person's walking around all these liberals like, do you think it's racist to have these voter ID or whatever laws? And they're like, oh yeah, because they might not have access to the internet or know how to use the internet or this and that. So they're all these condescending white fucking assholes saying all this shit. And then the interviewer goes to a black neighborhood and is like, do you have a cell phone? Yeah. Do you know how to use a cell phone? Yes. Do you have the internet? Yes. Do you know how to use the internet? And the interviewer goes, well, there's all these people that think that, you can't handle yourself, right? Again, this is another example of that where, someone has to play the savior, right? These people think they're saving people. Okay, so let's move on. So, perception in the black community that eating healthy means eating like white people, but it doesn't have to be that way. A couple things. If there's a perception in the black community that they can't eat healthy because it's white food, well, that's on them. That's not a me problem. That's a them problem. If you're part of a group and you're too stupid to realize that, in this instance, you can't eat healthy because it means that eating like white people, I can't help you. Enjoy your diabetes. Enjoy your triple chins like I've got. And deal with it. This makes it sound like there's a population of black people that are too stupid to realize this. Again, if you're that dumb, then you're that dumb. No one's stopping anybody from going to the grocery store and buying a bushel of carrots instead of the frozen Hot Pockets, right? You don't have to be white to know that, maybe I should eat like this as opposed to eating the processed foods. That's not a racial thing. But, of course, the Huffington Post here is, they're letting us know that there's a subset of people out there just too stupid to realize that. Because that's, in fact, what they are. They're stupid. It's not a race thing. All right, let's have a read here. Okay, let's scroll down here. We're going to start with Tanisha Gordon. Oh, Tanisha. Poor Tanisha. Tanisha Gordon doesn't see what white people love so much about cottage cheese. Neither do I, for that matter. I mean, Jesus, it looks like a tub full of fucking coagulated jizz. I'm not kidding. I've never had cottage cheese in my life. I can't bring myself to try it. It looks disgusting. Okay? And I'm white. I'm as white as the driven snow. And I'm not eating cottage cheese. Period. Or salads. Can you start a sentence off with or salads? I don't think so. I mean, I'm no grammar Nazi, but anyways. Or salads, especially when they're topped with fussy ingredients like candied almonds. I can get behind that. Pickled carrots, I can get behind that. And Brussels slaw, I don't know what that is. Candied almonds sounds tasty, and pickled anything is pretty good. Gordon, a 37-year-old employee at an IT company in Washington, D.C. area, in the Washington, D.C. area, and until recently, her diet was deeply saturated with fast foods, Rotten Ronnies, that's what I call McDonald's, Rotten Ronnies, Taco Bell, you name it. Wow, and she's just stunned that she's unhealthy. Her doctor diagnosed her last year with prediabetes, prescribed her a CPAP machine to help her sleep through the night. She began working with a nutritionist to clean up her diet. But the lifestyle change, she thought, would require more than cutting out chicken McNuggets. You don't say. Maybe a little exercise there. As a black woman, Gordon battled the perception that most of today's healthy food is white people food. Really? That's like an internal struggle this lady had? Again, talking about people who are too stupid. Tanisha Gordon here is a prime example. Oh, I should eat that healthy food. Oh, but it's white devil food. I can't do it. So fucking diabetes. Really? She struggled. She battled the perception that most of today's healthy food is... Who gives a fuck? Listen, food is food, okay? It doesn't matter who's eating it. It doesn't matter who created the dish. It's food. It's either going to be tasty or not. It's either going to be healthy or not. Okay? How does one battle the perception of food? Like, oh man, I was going to get that salad, but there's no gravy with the salad. I can't have that. So Tanisha Gordon is clearly a retard. So it goes on. A lot of the time when you go to restaurants now, they have these extravagant salads with all these ingredients in it, like walnuts, pickled onions, like the stuff Panera sells. I've never been to Panera, but sounds lovely. Gordon told HuffPo, for me personally, that's like a white person's food. Well, Tanisha Gordon's racist. That should be the end of this part of the article right now. Boom. She's racist and she's stupid. A lot of the mainstream stuff that's advertised comes across as being for white people. Yeah. Most of the food advertisements that I see personally are for fast food. And, well, that appeals to everybody. So, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Maybe she's in a part of the United States. Listen, I'm up in Canada. Maybe our commercials, our ads are different. I don't know, but yeah, I don't see a lot of healthy food adverts out there. But anyways, for Tanisha here, it's like white person's food, so I can't have that because I gotta represent and stay true, fight the power, damn the man. So that's it. I can't eat it because I'm part of a group, and I'm so heavily invested in identity politics that I'll cut off my nose to spite my face. I can't eat the healthy food. It's too white. I'm afraid I'll get a couple shades of lighter. My mystic melanin powers will disappear if I eat that salad and some quinoa. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue with this. This is great. So, today's goop lacquer definition of healthy eating has made it de rigueur to guzzle $9 bottles of cold-pressed kale juice or chug hydrogen-infused water. So, yeah, that's true. Like, these healthy places will charge you a fucking mint for something that they will market as healthy. And if you fall for it, you fall for it. If you're an idiot, you're an idiot. Okay? I mean, I certainly could do with probably a bottle of cold-pressed kale juice myself, Got that triple chin going on. But in this micro bubble of fastidiousness, a healthy diet means more than consuming your daily dose of fruits and veggies. It does? You're right. It includes some exercise in there. It means eating pudding made of chia seeds. Okay, so HuffPo is just going to throw out these like crazy dishes, like sprinkling your acai bowl with goji berries, even if you have no idea what either of those things are. And I have no idea, and I've never had one. And that's not what I think of eating healthy, right? Having a salad, right? Eating things that are not deep fried. That's kind of my idea of healthy eating, Cutting back on a bit of the old red meat there, Not having the 10-ounce steak, That's my idea of maybe eating a little healthier. Not this Of course, this is the picture they want to paint. Yeah, that's part of the healthy eating movement. Sure, these companies are going to sell you the latest and greatest dish or whatever, but again, if you're a retard and you can't see through this, then, a fool and his money is easily parted, right? Okay, let's continue. Here we are. There's nothing wrong with being nutritionally ambitious, but we've cultivated a health food culture that's unattainable for the multitudes who can neither afford it nor identify with it. Oh, this shit drives me nuts. I'd have a lot more respect for these people if they just stuck with can neither afford it. Because I understand that. And that poverty, that obviously knows no bounds, race, white, black, whatever, right? Except for Asian people. Asian people aren't impoverished in the United States. But I cannot identify with it. Really. Again, if you're part of a group and you're like, I can't identify with eating kale, so therefore I'm going to hit up the Rotten Ronnie's and grab a 20-piece nuggets with some of that delicious hot mustard dip. Well, you're retarded. You are, you're my brother Bilo. You are a retard. Okay? Because, I don't know what to say to that. Right? Like, that person's stupid. Can't identify with it. How do you identify? I don't understand. Like, how, people identify. How do you not identify with it? I can go out and eat fried chicken, watermelon, not mac and cheese. I don't like mac and cheese. But, all this soul food stuff. I don't need to identify with anything. It's food. It's tasty. I want to eat that shit. I don't need to identify with a group to eat something. What do these people stick within their own little bubble? Like, I'd love... Hey, Tanisha, let's go for some Italian tonight. Whoa! Settle down there, fella. That's Italian food. That's that white devil snow chimp food. I just can't identify with, some rigatoni and some red sauce. Oh. My mind is blasted by these people. Can't identify with it. What it should say is, there's nothing wrong with being nutritionally ambitious, but we've cultivated a health food culture that's unattainable for the multitudes who can neither afford it or who are too stupid to see that they can go and get it. Period. The end. Done. You've got the dominant culture in the USA being white culture. That makes me laugh because I keep hearing from the SJWs and the far left and the black nationalists and whatnot saying, white people don't have culture. And yet, well, a doctor said that we do have white culture. So, interesting. Anyways, this old doctor here says, white culture has taken the power to define all things good as white and all things white as good. So that definition of healthy eating is not an accurate depiction of eating healthy. That's like a bit of a word salad there. The white culture, defining all things good as white. Well, let's look at that. A culture is not going to say, "Hey, we're a real shitty culture." Don't listen. Don't look at this culture because we're a bunch of assholes, right? A culture is not going to do that. All things white is good. Yeah, you're not going to get a culture, but like, this. I don't know, from whatever part of the world, we're really good people, except this part. This is really shitty part of our culture. Just don't pay any attention to that. It's just shitty, I wonder if this has anything to do with the fact that the majority of the population in the United States is white. Interesting. So that definition of healthy eating is not an accurate depiction of eating healthy. They're like doing this like switch around here. Okay. I would need some examples of this. I'd need some examples of like, hey, this is being marketed as healthy eating and it's not. Well, that's probably true, but again, like, it's white culture. Oh, okay. Right. So over the course of a year, Tanisha Gordon here, the retard of the story, shed 60 pounds, outgrew the need for a CPAP machine simply by making some changes to her diet. Well, holy shit. But food isn't always the biggest obstacle to a healthy lifestyle. No? Well, what is? Cultural barriers can be just as powerful. Yeah, okay. You know, you're living in your condo or your house or your apartment, whatever, and you're like, man, I'd really like to go to the grocery store. And, I'm trying to eat healthy, so maybe I'll get that lean chicken breast and some greens. But, what are other people going to think about me? I can't do it. Am I going to be called a coon or an Uncle Tom for getting that kale? Yeah, that's powerful. Real powerful shit there. Oh, shut up, phone. Okay, so for a person who needs to retrain their mind and think differently about healthy eating, that's always going to be their struggle. Getting past, this plate of food is for a white person, Gordon said. Again, she's racist. Now, I get retraining your mind for different things. You got these eating disorders and, you got to retrain your mind to think that, you're not fat and this and that and the other thing, Got it. If you're a person that has to, the struggle's real. For a person who needs to retrain their mind and think differently about healthy eating, that's always going to be their struggle. Really? This is your fucking struggle? I thought your struggle was sleeping at night without a CPAP machine. But there's cultural struggles, that's the big thing? Really? I thought maybe, not getting that 10-piece chicken nugget there, Tanisha, and maybe, settling for a 6-piece or, God forbid, a salad with some grilled chicken on it, No, the struggle is, the cultural one. Healthy food has historically been less accessible to black Americans in a number of ways. So does healthy eating have to be equated with eating like white people? No, it doesn't. It's food. These people put these barriers up themselves. It's fucking food. Anyone can go get it, right? You get to choose what you eat. Your culture, your skin color, your ethnicity doesn't dictate what you have to eat. And if you think that way, then you deserve to be shipped off to Schmuck Island somewhere. According to a new generation of chefs, nutritionists, academics, patients, the answer is no. Oh, so these people need chefs, nutritionists, academics to tell them, hey, it's okay. Put down the spicy chicken Sammy from Wendy's. Instead, opt for this grilled chicken salad. It's okay. These people need to be told this. Right, okay. Right. I don't know what to say to that. I'm fucking dumbfounded. Charmaine Jones, a Washington, D.C. based dietitian who is black, that's great, that matters, penned a short paper earlier this year called Do I Have to Eat Like White People? She's racist. Right? What if I made a paper, Do I Have to Eat Like Black People? Again, the test is take the word white out, put in black or Asian or brown or whatever, right? And if it sounds racist, then it's racist with white people in it. Do I have to eat like black people? Well, what does eating like black people mean? Is it all watermelon and, fried chicken? Mm-hmm. No, of course it's not. Fuck. Okay, do I have to eat like white people? That shared the dietary struggles of her clients, whom she describes primarily as low-income African Americans on DC Medicaid. Okay, now the low-income part, I get. Right, shit ain't cheap, man. It ain't cheap. So that I understand. But the thing is, low income doesn't necessarily just stick itself to black people. It's, those white devils are they can be low income too, Asians, no, they're not low income. But white devils and black folks, yeah, they can be low income. But, this is a narrative they're trying to spin. So let's just focus primarily on black people that are poor. All right, so the majority of our clients seek nutrition strategies to treat obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart attack disease, or high cholesterol. A set of challenges that are particularly prevalent in the black community. Yeah, okay. I get it. Charmaine Jones describes white people food. Totally not racist. It's racist if I say black people food, though, right? If I say Black people food is described as watermelon, chitlins, collard greens, mac and cheese, and sweet potato fry. And I'm a goose-stepping Nazi, cross-burning, white hood-wearing KKK motherfucker. But, this chick gets a pass saying white people food is described as salads, fruits, yogurts, cottage cheeses, and lean meats. Yes, because only white people eat this shit. That's it. Only white people the world over eat lean meat or yogurt. No. Yeah. Anyways, the standard low-fat, heart-healthy foods promoted by the U.S. dietary guidelines. Ah, yes. The U.S. government just trying to oppress people all the time, right? Every 5 years, a 14-member advisory board writes those guidelines, which dictate what the average American should eat to maintain a healthy lifestyle. The current board has only 2 black members. Oh my God. Oh my God. Clearly racist. I guess it has nothing to do with demographics, population demographics. No, it only has 2 black people. Therefore, it's racist and, it's part of the evil plot to oppress the black folks. Yes. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services didn't respond to HuffPost's request for comment. And why would they? Why would they? Because the Huffington Post, if they didn't like the answer they got, they would spin it around and say, oh, they're racist. Yeah, this is, anyways, again, it's just another example of, the double standards, right? You can say, do I have to eat like white people? But I can't say, do I have to eat like brown people? Right? Do I have to eat with my hands and, eat the way they eat, different dishes and whatnot? Do I have to eat like black people? Does that mean I got to have a good old cookout with some catfish and some fried chicken? Food's food, okay? It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. You can eat it. This idea that there's cultural barriers and it's a struggle is absolute nonsense. But of course, we got to keep spinning that little wheel of fortune to find out the next thing that's racist, whether it's the great outdoors or eating healthy. Anyways, so African Americans are at a much higher risk for genetic predispositions and health issues. So diabetes and high blood pressure and obesity. All right. Let's just skip through that. Yeah, okay, great. Interestingly enough, Charmaine Jones client said they didn't find it easy to get help in the black community. Well, if you're going to restrict yourself to a certain community to get help or to get a service, yeah, you might have some issues, right? For whatever reason. But that's on you. You're an idiot. So, of course, Tanisha here says, I found it difficult to find a black nutritionist. Jones was the only one I found when I was looking. Well, again, Tanisha's a racist. Can't go to that white nutritionist. Nope. Because they're going to tell me I got to eat some white people food like some kale or whatever. I don't know if this article actually goes on to say, and I don't think it does, what Charmaine Jones has Tanisha Gordon eaten. I don't think they say, and I'd be curious to know. Like, is she on some white people food now? Is she losing some melanin now? Anyways, Tanisha Gordon had to find a black nutritionist. Well, fuck. If you can't find one, that's on you. You're an idiot. I don't get. Again, you put your identity before everything else. Me, I don't give a shit who you are. If you're qualified, I want you to be my nutritionist. All right? It doesn't matter. Be a nutritionist. Be knowledgeable. Give me options for shit that I'm actually going to like. That's all I care about. But again, Tanisha's got to have a black nutritionist. Well, fuck you then. Okay, so even after I met her, I asked her what made her become a nutritionist. And she said growing up, she'd never seen a black person be a nutritionist. So that was something we definitely related on. And ultimately why I picked her. So, growing up, you're like, hey man, I don't see any nutritionists. Is that the reason, that your main motivation, or do you just want to get into the field because you like it? I mean, anyways, this is a problem. People can't get themselves out of their group mentality, right? That's not to say the black community isn't without proponents. Former First Lady Michelle Obama had a campaign to say stop being fat. But Obama met resistance, finding that food is an everyday comfort that many Americans aren't willing to compromise in. That's very true, right? You grow up with a certain food, you love it, and then someone comes along and says, hey, that shit's not healthy, right? Maybe you're an Italian guy, right? You're some Italian American guy. And you grow up eating pasta and all this stuff, and then someone comes along and says, hey, man, why don't you ease up on the old cannelloni, that guy might go, oh, fuck, but I love cannelloni. I grew up eating it. Of course you're going to run into resistance. If you grew up eating junk food and someone comes along and says, holy shit, if you would like to live past the age of 45, you got to stop eating those rotten Ronnie's chicken nuggets, there's going to be resistance. Big fucking shocker here. It ain't just black people that are, going to show some resistance to changing their diets and their lifestyle. Jesus Christ. Jones says she runs into this problem with many of her clients. Oh, and I bet it's just the black clients too, right, Jones? Oh, woe is me. It's very frustrating, she told HuffPost. My clients feel pressure that they have to change the way they eat. Yeah, no shit, because they're going to a nutritionist. Fucking hell. You think, like, what do these people think? White people just every day, it's like, hey, hun, what's for dinner? Oh, kale salad with some goju berries. Delicious, hun. Because we don't eat pizza or burgers or barbecue or fried chicken or, pasta. No. All kale all the time, baby. That's the white devil way. Okay, so Joan says her clients feel pressure. Yeah, no shit. Anyone's going to feel pressure when they're going to a dietitian. Fuck, I've been to a dietitian. Currently not, as you can tell. But, yeah, it's a bit of a fucking... As someone who loves food, loves to cook, loves to serve food, loves to make food for other people, loves to eat it, obviously, it's hard. And I'm a white devil snow chimp. My clients associate healthy eating with eating like white folk. Well, then your clients are stupid. Your clients are too stupid to think, like, what do they think, the obese white folks are out there getting obese on kale salads? What the fuck? Who are these people? I think it stems from what people see in marketing and what they associate healthful eating with, and it often doesn't include food they're familiar with. Do you see any, like, you've got food adverts for fast food chains. You are not going to see a healthy eating food commercial with a juicy fucking burger, 80% lean, made out of 80% beef and 20% fat, just dripping with grease. You're not going to see that. And last I checked, hamburgers weren't known as black people food. So no shit, you're not going to see marketing like... Again, this is retarded. What healthy eating? What marketing is going to associate with fried chicken or hamburgers or ribs? No, it's not gonna. But of course, apparently, because they don't see the soul food and healthy eating adverts, it's like, oh, I'm being excluded. I'm rambling here. When you change folks' food, especially people of color. Only in 2018 can you get away with this racist shit, right? Especially people of color. Right. Because, intrinsically, as being white, it's just so much easier for me to say, you know what? I'm putting down the chicken wings. Oh, I'm never giving up chicken wings, by the way. I'm putting down the chicken wings. And I'm going to reach for that grilled the turkey bacon, I'm not going to eat the real bacon. I'm not going to eat the homemade bacon that I make at home. No. I'm eating that turkey bacon. It's just so much easier for me. It's like a superpower for us white devils, right? We can just, no big deal, change our diet. It's cool. Yikes. These people, they're idiots. Charmaine Jones, you're an idiot. That's why it's so important as a dietitian to start where folks are and introduce foods they're going to be familiar with, but maybe in a little different way. I'd like to know what that is exactly. They're not saying this. They're not like, well, how so? How are you doing this? Psych Williams Forson, Associate Professor and Chair of American Studies at the University of Maryland, powerfully described how people react to interventions in their diet. I'm going to assume, and I'm not a doctor, that's going to shock a lot of people, but I'm going to assume they're not going to react well. It's not going to be good, right? When you're eating shepherd's pie on the weekends, your mom makes it, or let's say you're Eastern European, you're eating sausages all the time, and someone comes along and says, put the sausage down, bro. Okay, we're gonna have these grilled peppers instead. That shit ain't gonna be easy. I hate to say it, but it's not just black people. Okay, when you go into a person's culture and you say you can't eat this or you can't eat that, that's not going into a person's culture. That's no, that's a person's diet. Okay, I don't associate food with my culture as a white dude. Anyways, it's like going into your house and moving your furniture. You're going to feel violated. You're going to feel invaded. Jesus Christ. The snowflakery here is fucking killing me. It makes people feel like their cultural sustainability has been compromised. Why does it have to be reduced to culture? That's the thing. It's a diet. Okay? But hey, I guess whatever. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. That's like the soul food is part of my blackness. The pasta is part of my Italianness or whatever. The sausage, the kielbasa is part of my Polish culture or whatever. Sure. But again, if you feel violated, you feel like you're invaded, you're a bitch. You're a straight up bitch. Okay? It's fucking food. That's like saying, geez, I gotta wear this, I'm an Indian female and I gotta wear this sari all the time because if I put on a pair of jeans and a shirt, oh, my culture's gone. Anyways, I try to encourage people to remember that food is part of the constellation of material objects that we deal with every day. That's very true. It is. It's food. You can choose what to eat. Every time you have a material possession that's been taken away from you, you're going to feel very protective. Oh my God. Okay. So now here they're going to talk about soul food and how it's part of a cultural thing. And yeah, I'm sure it is, in the 60s and whatnot. Sure, it's a cultural thing. That's fine. But soul food is not limited just to black people or white people or anybody. Anybody can do it. Anybody can eat it. Anybody can make it. So, yeah, they're talking about soul food in a cultural context. Trying to think, is there anything really like... Erica Bright, a 45-year-old management analyst who sought Jones' help last year to make some dietary changes. She's been making positive changes to her health by adjusting what she eats, something she was open-minded to since the beginning of the process. Oh, very good. So she's not an idiot. But she doesn't think everyone feels this way. Well, Erica Bright, I don't know if she's white or black. They don't say. Funny enough, they'll state, the race of people all the time, except when it's not, helpful to their narrative, I guess. The thing that bothers me about eating healthy is that in the media, people appropriate different ways of eating to different people. Okay. Okay. So I don't necessarily feel like black people eat as unhealthy as people would assume that we do. Okay, so she's obviously black. If you think about Italian food, which I love, it's just as fatty as soul food. No shit. It doesn't have the same reputation. Really? I don't know, man. I disagree. For decades now, people have been talking about how shitty carbs are and how pasta's terrible and gluten-free, you need gluten-free and this and that and the other thing. So I disagree. In fact, I've never really, I can't say I've ever heard, and this is just me, right? I'm only one person, but I've never really heard soul food as being unhealthy. Only soul food, and that it's a black thing. I'm not retarded enough to know that, to think that only black people can eat soul food. Anybody can do it. Maybe, anyways. Okay, so she points out the origins of Southern food took root in a time when it was necessary to cook. Okay, so we're going to talk about the origins of Southern food. Yeah, like people are poor. People got to make do with what they can do with. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so let's see. Stereotyping is extremely frustrating. Yes, it certainly is, but it's not just for black people, right? That's what that says there. Yeah, okay, here we go. Some people think all black people eat is chicken and collard greens, and that's not necessarily true. I like how it's like, it's not necessarily true. No, it's not. Listen, yes, I'm sure a lot of black people, within certain cultures, you tend to stick with food, I get it. But I'm not dumb enough to think that every black person out there is just going to eat nothing but fried chicken and, unhealthy foods. It's not like we don't know what carrots or Brussels sprouts were. Yeah, obviously, right? That's the thing. You make it sound, but this article makes it sound as if that's exactly it. Ooh, black people didn't know what carrots or Brussels sprouts were. Yeah, of course they know. Okay, what else we got here? So, stereotyping is extremely frustrating. We have to find an approach to food that still respects and honors our culture. We can still respect our ancestors for how they had to eat out of utility. Oh, really? I mean, sure, I guess. Yay, respect. I respect the people from 100 years ago. Great. Now I have more choices they did. Well, don't you now? That's exactly, you do. Obviously, this person is smart enough that she doesn't struggle with her cultural identity to eating healthy. Okay, so I was going to stop it there, but I'm not going to. So Bridges, a 45-year-old nuclear chemist who lives in the D.C. area, started seeing Jones in 2017 to treat high blood pressure that suddenly arose after parents passed away. Okay, so she pays out of pocket, and she's been healthy her whole life. I was raised by a nurse, she says. I didn't have to make a lot of changes once I started seeing Jones. Okay, so your parents were smart, and you were fed vegetables and whatnot. Okay. Bridges sees herself as being a distinctly different cultural cross-section than most Jones' clients. Doesn't feel closely connected to her roots through the foods she eats. Okay. Yeah, you can still feel connected to your roots. I understand that. But you can also be smart enough to know that, yeah, this is it's food. I can change the food, right? She doesn't identify. That's not how, she doesn't base her identity on it. Okay, so I would never qualify what I eat as being from one culture or another. No matter who you are, you need to eat fruits, veggies every day. That's true. We've gone to a processed way of eating. See, now we're getting a little more sensible in this article. And this article is going to switch from this whole, I can't eat foods, it's a struggle, poor me, because of white people, to a more sensible approach. And this is where we're going to end it. Because this lady says here, it has more to do with class than race. Boom, mic drop, that's it. It has more to do with class than race. Eating healthy can be very expensive. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. And that's it right there. Now, this is a long-ass article about some racial bullshit and stupidity. For HuffPo to finally go, it's about class than race. And that's what basically the rest of this article talks about. So I'll give them credit. At least they sort of go to this obvious conclusion, right? It talks about some black restaurateurs, and some dude runs a vegan restaurant, a vegan barbecue, which there's no such thing as vegan barbecue, right? That's just that's heresy, and I got no time for that bullshit. So there you go. Yes, white people and their goddamn healthy eating. Anyways, that's it.